This is Cultured Unmasked, and we're recording out a blank canvas at 2174 Lee Road in Cleveland Heights. It's a great art store, pop culture store. Come in and check us out. We'll let you know the days we're recording if you want to just stop by, and also just stop by to check out some amazing art. I'm Madison Hawthorne. I'm the publisher and writer at Golden Tree Publishing, and you can catch most of our work online on Comixology. We have Unicorn Melee, which is a fantasy one shot. And we have Eta, which is a samurai tale, which will be 8 issues. Issues 1 and 2 are currently out right now. And I'm also with Ray. You want to introduce yourself?
What's going on, everybody? My name is Ray My Youngblood, aka Ray's Arts. I am a digital freelance illustrator. You can find my art on Instagram at Rays_arts, RAIZ_ARTS. I'm currently working on a comic book called Twilight Angel. Please look forward to the official release coming this June.
Hey, everybody. I'm trying to give a cool intro, but I'm not that type of dude. This is Chris Newman. I work here at Blank Canvas, almost a co-owner. My brother owns it. And you can find me at Chris Newman 216 or at Chris Newman 216 on Instagram. Currently working on first edition of a children's book for my daughter. So that's all in the works. I don't want to give the titles out yet because that's all in the process of being copywritten and all of that. But look forward soon. We're going to have a song out with it. I did all the artwork, going to have different editions of artists doing the artwork. And that's a lot of what my focus is, art. And then my love for it, music and comics and all that. So that's my forte.
Yeah, and basically the purpose of this podcast, one is we want it to be a good avenue for creators. We're going to touch a lot of stuff on just things you need to do if you're trying to write movie scripts, if you're trying to write comic scripts, make comics, if you're just trying to make movies, whatever you're trying to do. We're going to be going over different avenues and things that we think will be useful for creators. So this is really a creative focused podcast, but I guess we're gonna get right into it here and talk a little bit about kind of what's coming up as far as in regards to movies and things of that sort. So I mean, I could go down the list of anything coming up in March. You guys can tell me if you can give me a yay or nay on if it's something you want to see coming up. But it looks like on March 6th we have Onward coming out. Did anybody want to see that?
Actually, I've not missed any Disney movies this year or last, especially since there's no Disney movies this year. But last year I ain't missed any. And Frozen 2 was pretty much a delight. So I'm definitely trying to see what they're going for with this Onward movie. An adventure that's focusing on 2 brothers trying to see their dad for day. There's a magical quest that they're going to go on, and somehow or another their dad is only legs. So I feel like it's going to be super heartfelt, and I don't know, I'm down for it.
Yeah, I never heard of it. So to be honest, I'm gonna have to check out the trailer. I'm gonna be the trailer guy, man, focusing on that because I didn't know that was even a Disney movie, so I'm looking forward to seeing the trailer.
It's a Pixar Disney thing, but I ain't seen the movies in the grip. That's not really my thing. I probably won't be going to see that one. But sticking with Disney, they got Mulan on the 27th coming out.
Man,
I want to see that.
Mulan with no Mushu. I don't know how I feel about it. I saw the trailer, and the action scenes definitely seem that something that's pretty exciting, and they're definitely taking Mulan in a more seemingly dark direction. I like what they're doing with the hawk, Attila the Hun's hawk that he had in the cartoon movie somehow transforms into a girl. Then Mulan seems like it's going to be Mulan's antagonist. So I'm really interested to see the changes. I do wish there was a Mushu. I definitely wish that there was a musical montage for Make a Man Out of You. But if they're going to take the dark route, I guess they got to take away the comedic elements too.
I love Mulan. I watch that cartoon at least 3 times a year. I love the soundtrack. So Make a Man Out of You, I know they ain't had that in there, man.
Yeah, they don't got it in there.
And that's not PC no more.
But Madison, let's hear your best reflections impersonation.
Oh, no, I don't have no impersonation. And quite frankly, I'm probably not even going to see that. I don't think I've seen any of the Disney live action remakes except for the Jungle Book. I'll probably catch that. It'll end up on Disney Plus, which I don't have yet because they don't have enough. But I'll probably catch that then. What's that? That'll be there in 2 years. So I'll see that in 2 years. I'll get back to you guys on that.
I'll let y'all know what I think about it whenever I see it.
And then I think the other movie, I guess, from March that's supposed to be big or people are talking about is the Godzilla vs. Kong movie that's coming out in the middle of March. And that's something more up my alley. We'll see how it goes. It's all about the monster fights. So like that's the whole thing with those movies. It's less about the actors and the people. So I want to see how the monster fights go. What are you interested in anything?
Oh man, so definitely not my thing. I tried to get into King of Monsters. I'm a big story guy, and like don't be wrong, like epic monster fights is great and all that, but it never hit me. So I might see it just to give my opinion on it, but I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, they messed up on King of Monsters because I guess they ran out of money and they panned away from the actual fight parts, which is the whole point of the movie. I guess they had to cut that CGI budget a little bit, but hopefully they don't make that same mistake with Kong. But any other any anime or anything coming up that you're looking forward to seeing or?
I'm trying to think because I know that right now things are getting kind of strange with the coronavirus in Japan, and a lot of different anime are actually kind of being put on hold. Like I know that Bleach had a project coming up, the OVA for Release the Witch or Burn the Witch. I apologize, and I know that got postponed. So we definitely need to kind of just keep our eyes out on seeing what's going to happen with Japan and hope that our anime schedules, won't be severely too impacted. But I do know that later on this month, we're actually going to get the Digimon movie. And so I'm super excited about that. It's Digimon Adventure, which is, going to focus on Tai and Matt and all of them from when we were younger. They're actually going to be growing into adulthood the proper way this time. Digimon Try doesn't count. It doesn't. I don't know if y'all watched it, but just watch this movie instead. I think we're going to do a lot better. They brought back the original character designers and they brought back the original writer and author for the story. So I think it's going to be a lot more true to what Digimon Adventure meant to be and how Digimon is meant to close. And of course, we'll be getting the My Hero Academia movie this month, next week, actually, as well. So look forward to hearing my thoughts on that.
Anything you're looking forward to coming up that you're trying to see outside of the movies we mentioned? Newman?
Just whatever horror movies is out. I'm big on horror movies, so I wish they have a new werewolf horror movie, man. That's my main genre, but I haven't seen anything coming out. So whatever horror movie's coming out, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I think they're still making Underworlds.
Are they?
On number 10.
Man, those don't count. Those don't count.
So.
Hey, what do you think about The Invisible Man coming out next week?
It looks interesting. I'm definitely gonna see it, but I don't know if it's gonna be one of those movies I see in a theater. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't. The trailer didn't didn't pull me in to want to see it in a theater.
I mean, we'll see. Hollow Man was dope. When Kevin Bacon.
I saw that.
I mean, if it's like that, I mean, it might be all right, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, would you really consider Hollow Man like a horror? Like, I felt like he was almost like a superhero before superhero films were actually a thing.
The Hollow Man, a superhero?
Yeah.
You talk about the same one with Elizabeth
the
Shue?
same movie with Kevin Bacon?
I thought so.
Superhero?
Maybe I got him confused a little bit.
Nah, he was grabbing breast in that movie,
he was
man.
sneaking in the women and sneaking in, trying to rape women.
Definitely got it confused. Please edit that all the way out.
You talking about the wrong movies.
Definitely talking about the wrong movie.
Apollo Man's a superhero, man. You a villain.
Why'd you save them people, man? You a villain, yeah.
Oh man, we got.
Damn, so who did I get him confused with?
Who you thinking of?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What happens in that movie?
Yeah, explain it.
Dude turns invisible and he's saving people. Like he's actually like he's not being a creep. He's not doing all that shit that y'all were just talking about. But I can't remember what it's called. So yeah.
It was a newer movie, like within the last 15 years or something?
Man, it was like early 2000s, I thought. But I can't think of what it's called.
Harry Potter?
Chill.
Yeah.
Did he turn invisible?
Nah, he did.
Yeah.
Not Harry Potter.
Dang. I hope I ain't miss a movie.
I can't think of what
he talking about. I don't know.
Maybe I dreamt it, but
the only person turned invisible was Kevin Bacon, and was it Kale? But he couldn't turn invisible in that one movie where we call it turn invisible.
Oh, the Mystery Man?
Yeah, Mystery Man. He can only turn invisible when people weren't looking at him.
Now I really need to look into it.
Mystery Man. That's right, man. Mr. What was it? The dude, Mr. Inflection or something like that.
That movie was dope.
Yeah, you got to get us hip to that movie you thinking of, man. Because if I miss something or not thinking about it, I got to.
Yeah, I'm going to find it. I'm definitely going to find it.
Oh, man. But yeah, man, just horror movies, man. I'm looking for something that really is going to captivate me, man, and put a chill up my back. I haven't had a chill up my back since... I don't know. I can't.
What's the last movie you seen?
Dang. I got to check my my Fire Stick. I watched a horror movie this morning. It wasn't good. But it was the last one I saw. It was no, that wasn't it. You know what, man? Edit point.
I found it, by the way.
What is it?
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I know that. Like,
that's not Hollow, man.
It was just a focus, so just on that character. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Man, they should make another one of those. Captain Nemo.
Man, but I knew I wasn't crazy. Invisible Man was saving folk, but
I feel that movie was legit, man.
Yeah.
Dope.
That was before they cut what's his name? Old dude, man.
Sean Connery?
John Connery, man, for putting his hands on women's face. And so after that, it's like, man, you can't be an extraordinary gentleman.
Nah, yeah. That's a quick and easy way to get cut.
They got and then we seen Sonic.
Yeah.
How was that? I didn't see that.
I mean, I thought it was gonna be trash, but it's good.
Oh, word.
I can't even call it. Like it's a good movie. They did a good job. Shout out to Sega.
Shout out to Sega indeed.
Like y'all trying to make a little world, trying to get some of these billions on the franchise circuit. But I think they did a good job with it.
How was Jim Carrey? How did he portray Dr. Robotnik?
He was Jim Carrey. He was classic Jim Carrey. That's all I can say.
Oh, okay.
It was like I watched it. I was thinking, he still got it.
Yeah,
he's still Jim. It's exactly what you would expect from Jim Carrey, like when he was like hot, like in the mid '90s.
Right.
Yeah, Ace Ventura.
Jim Carrey.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, like Ace Ventura type Jim Carrey, like Liar Liar, that type of thing.
So the big thing about that movie was they didn't put it out when it was supposed to because they redid the digital.
Yeah.
So do y'all remember what it was like prior to what the movie y'all saw was, and how do you think it was?
So like, I'm a huge Sonic fan. Like Sonic, if it wasn't for Sonic, I wouldn't be drawing. So
Dang.
Yeah, he's definitely my hero.
Ray's origin story.
And I was always rooting for this movie ever since I got wind of it. I saw the first trailer. He looked different. He definitely looked different, and I don't know. I still feel like it would have been a watchable movie, but I feel like it wouldn't have made the numbers that it made last weekend or this weekend. The thing is, like, they spent $5 million to redesign him, and honestly, this is the first movie that I can honestly say that I feel like earned its number one spot. You know, like, they listened to the fans. They didn't just stand on their mountain to die. They said, you know what? No, wait. These people have been following Sonic for 29 years. Let's figure out exactly what they're talking about. So definitely huge shout to Sega, but huger shout to Jeff Fowler for making these decisions. I'm really excited to see what he has next. I read an article this morning that talked about a tweet that he made to The Rock because The Rock was excited about Sonic saying, is The Rock president yet? He was really excited about that. I guess he's been playing Sonic ever since he was a kid, and there's rumblings, nothing official yet. So again, this is not official saying, but there's rumblings that he could be in the next movie. I think he'd make an awesome Knuckles.
Oh, it's not
like as the voice actor.
Yeah.
Say they got to bring Knuckles up in that joint. That'd be dope. But yeah, I mean, what's it? February. I mean, there's still a lot of movies to come out, but that's the best movie that I've seen this year.
Oh yeah,
it's better than Birds of Prey. I think yeah, because we've seen that. I think DC they got to figure it out. Like, that's not a bad movie, but it's like it's still not like it's not something I want to watch again. You know, like I don't like I watch it on Netflix or something like
right. You ain't gonna go
3 years from now, but. And if somebody said, should I see it? I would just say, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be the guy that tells you.
You ain't going to say nothing bad about it, but you ain't.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna say this. I like Birds of Prey for what it was. I feel like a lot of people, for whatever reason, they didn't expect it to be a Harley Quinn focused movie. And I didn't understand what exactly they thought it was going to be. Yes, it's called Birds of Prey. I think the original title was Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. With a title like that, yes, it's called Birds of Prey, but Harley Quinn was not just going to be some feature to this. Like, she wasn't going to get one verse in this movie. Right. And I feel like, you know, people were kind of thinking she was going to take a back seat. And I truly don't understand why.
So what is it with those movies? You said like Sonic was awesome because they listened to the fans.
Yes.
Should DC listen to the fans more? Because I don't feel like Marvel listened to the fans. Marvel took their approach and they made sure it was perfect.
So I feel like Marvel definitely created a formula that is challenging to replicate. And I don't think that fan input could make or break Marvel Studios. With DC, on the other hand, I think that it's something that needs to be fixed, but I don't think that even us as fans really necessarily know like how to stick our foot in it and fix the formula that they kind of murkied up. I think they just need stable continuity. I don't know. What do you think, Madison?
I think DC just has more hurdles than Marvel because of the how the DC comic universe works. Mm-hmm. It doesn't translate as well to live action as the Marvel universe because all their heroes are so overpowered. They're like God level power. So then how do you find a capable villain? Batman works. The Batman trilogies work because Batman is just a dude. Right. You know, so it's a detective story. At the end of the day, all three Batmans are a dude fighting crime. You know, he's trying to stop something bad from happening. It could have been Die Hard or something like that. But I just think they got a lot of hurdles to clear because of that. And the fact that they saw all the money Marvel was getting and they're like, oh, we got to get in on this too. We've got these huge properties, these huge names, Superman, Batman, you know, but they were like trying to just jump on the train that was already moving instead of like building their own train from the beginning and building it up and then going, you know, so they come in with Justice League right away. And you're trying to do backgrounds for 5 different characters in one movie. It's like they did that for the Suicide Squad and they did that for Birds of Prey. And you have all these characters, you're trying to get all this background in and then still tell a story. Whereas Marvel didn't have to do that because every character had their standalone before they brought them together. So I mean, at the end of the day, all the DC movies are profitable. So
Exactly.
they're not. Warner Brothers is not going to stop making them, especially because I mean, if you hear there's a Batman movie, even if you don't like who they cast, you're going to go see it. If it's a Superman movie, you don't like who they cast, you're going to go see it.
Right.
So they know that they have that going for them as it's a layup to get money. But how long will that last, I guess, for them? But I mean, I think they can turn it around. They got to figure it out. And I don't think the answer is going to be to hire someone from Marvel to come over and do their thing. I think they need to just do their own thing, figure out what their own way to do it is.
But you know what, though? I think that they have some pretty interesting ideas in the works. I know that there was that Crisis on Infinite Earths and spoilers, but at the end on the 5th episode, they actually brought the Flash from the DC extended universe into the Arrowverse. I think that they can kind of profit off of that, you know, like to say, hey, you know, like, yes, Harley Quinn might have looked like this in DC Earth 1, but she also looks like this in DC Earth 73. And that's actually where the Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey take place. And that's why Robert Pattinson as Batman or Bruce Wayne looks different, because he's a Batman from a different universe and they all don't look the same, but some of them do. And while, yeah, that can be confusing, if you kind of lay it out there like that, I think it creates an opportunity for people to be like, oh, well, all right, yeah, that was a bit ass pulley, but I feel like I understand. So we're gonna rock with it anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see how. I mean, I feel like if people don't like this Batman that comes out, they might be done though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they might just be over DC if the Batman don't work, then, which is crazy because like that's really what started it, right? The Dark Knight trilogy is what started the whole superhero thing before Iron Man and all that. It was the Dark Knight trilogy that was killing.
You got to jump on this.
And then Marvel came out and they just they took over.
Well, I feel like they put a plan in place and they stuck to that plan. And I'll say that because, you know, me not being that deep into comics as I used to be, I didn't know about Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know about Doctor Strange. I didn't know about Ant-Man outside of, like, you know, cartoons in the day. Man, they came in and destroyed those movies, man. Like they got me. They got me. And I don't know if DC can do that, pull in like those second tier, those third tiers like Marvel did. If they take a step back, like you said, and put a plan together instead of pushing things out to try to make that quick buck. But I'll tell you what, I'm interested. I've been paying attention to what Marvel's been doing because they got me, attached to those second tier heroes like that.
I think that goes for what you were saying about like should they listen to the fans and stuff? And I think for like you just said, like, you're not that into the comics where you know about Guardians of the Galaxy and things like that. So you can't really listen to the fans when you're making comic movies, right? Because it's such a small group of people that know all the detailed history of all the comics since like the 40s all the way up to now. If you listen to them, it's going to alienate basically everybody else. And that's why Marvel makes a lot of the changes they do. And they don't listen to the fans because it's like, we're not really making these movies just for you, right? This is an all-inclusive movie. Right. You know, we're not going to make a movie just for you. Don't be selfish. Like, that's how I feel about the diehard comic fans sometimes. They're like, you change this. And it's like, but they're trying to make it for more people who aren't as into it as you. But so that's why I say DC shouldn't really be listening to the fans when they do their stuff. They just got to find out what's going to work for them to make a good movie. I mean, if it's good, it's good. That's it.
Yeah. So DC, listen to us though, man. we fans, man, but we gonna give it to you straight.
But yeah, that's anything else coming up that anybody's interested in? I know there's some stuff way out, but I'm just thinking more in the next couple of weeks and the next month. I guess one of the things we want to talk about today, especially for the creators, is one, it's con season. So cons are coming up all across the country. You know, really, it gets heavy in May, but even in March and things, there's a bunch. I know there's a Wizard Con coming up here in Cleveland next month. And I think we got Three Rivers Con. I got a shout out because I'm from Pittsburgh. So shout out to Three Rivers Con. That's coming up and that's going to be this summer in July. But we were talking about press passes, last week. So we were, because this is something I never thought of. This is what something Newman said is a way to try to get into cons for free. And also, that in network
right
is to work your way out, figure out how to get a press pass so you can get in there and get some exclusive access. So that's honestly, I'll probably be when I get more information on that, we'll be putting in to the into the podcast to try to let y'all know what I did or what we did in regards to that, to see how that works out and see what you could do. Like, what were you looking at that had you that idea?
Honestly, I'm always looking at ways to be the best at what we're gonna do. So when we first talked about doing this podcast and we were talking about all the different cons, and I'm thinking like, okay, we could just go there, but what gives us that extra, a step or extra, I don't know the words I'm trying to say, but what's gonna help us be the best at what we're doing, and that's being there with the people who know it more in depth. So with those cons, I was figuring, man, like people are always at these events. Why do we have to just be one of these regular people? Let's get into it. And being in the press, you got a lot more access. People take you a little bit more serious. And then you can get a lot more influential people to come speak with you and, see how we could build this platform and again, get more information to the people who didn't know things prior outside of just going to YouTube and things like that. So hopefully, that looking at how you get to the press pass and, things that are just going to benefit us and what we're trying to accomplish here. So that just made me look it up, and I saw, basically I Googled it.
Yeah. I mean, that's everything. And also, I think that's dope because like if you're a creator and let's say you want to go to a con and you're going there, you're hoping to meet somebody. It's hard sometimes because like you're in line with somebody or they're working their table or they're doing if they're doing a class or a tutorial or something at the con, they only gonna have so much time to talk to you because there's going to be everybody else that's paid and is there. They want to talk to them. So they can give you like 30 seconds. Right. Even if you're an artist and you've got a portfolio, they're not going to have necessarily that much time to talk to you. Or if you're just trying to get advice, they're going to probably give you whatever they've got in the holster, that they give everybody because they've got things to do. Maybe you can catch them on the side, but then they might not want to talk to you, if you catch them on the side because they're tired or something, cons are long for people sometimes. But if you got a press pass, it's a little different because then you can, there's time for them to they're expecting to do some type of press. Mm-hmm. So it kind of gives you a kind of like backdoor in to have a more meaningful conversation with somebody. At least in my mind, like I said, we haven't done it, but this is just something that I'm thinking like when Newman mentioned that I was thinking like, yeah, definitely. That's something that sounds like would be a good idea, especially if you don't plan on setting up a table yourself, or even especially if maybe it's just cost too much for the tickets. But if you can get a press pass and get in there for free, then I mean, you still get access to everything and some, but you didn't pay for your tickets. I mean, it's like a win-win. Like I said, it's a good look.
But you still got to do the work when you get in there. Don't just get a press pass and spend all your time going to panels and then going to the distributor shops. Like actually go talk to people and then take what you learned and bring it back to whatever resource you're putting out there. Because I don't know if you can, but you don't want to get your press pass revoked.
And I'm gonna just go do a quick rundown. There's some cons coming up, some notable ones. There's the Buckeye Comic Con in Columbus, for anybody kind of in that area, Columbus, Ohio. For the people out in Tennessee, there's the Clarksville Con, which is March 7th. I think it's just a 1-day con. That's a Saturday. I think it's just a Saturday con. Jacksonville's the CBC Comic Book and Toy Show, which is always 2 days. And that I think they do donations too. So I think there's like a large charity aspect involved in that one that you can look into. And let's see what else we got. There's the Ace Comic Con in Boston for people in the Northeast who want to go to that one. And that's that's a full weekend. That's the March 20th to March 22nd. There's Forest State Comic Con, which of course is in Maryland because they have to call it the Forest State Comic Con because of how they're situated in this world of DC. Right. But that's the 21st to the 22nd. And what else we got? The Philadelphia Comic Con. It's called the Great Philadelphia Comic Con, but I'll have to get back to you guys on that. I don't think that's the main Comic Con that they do in Philadelphia, but that's April 3rd to the 5th. So it's that weekend. If you want to check that one out. And then basically those are all the most notable ones coming up through March to like the middle of April. And I'll probably just, as we go and get closer, to give more list of what's coming up. But I also just wanted to take time to talk about like setting up at a Comic-Con. So here's the thing. It's probably too late if you want to get a table now because either they're going to be sold out or they're no longer going to be accepting applications because we're like in the middle of the season. Usually from November to February is when you want to be looking to set up tables for cons if you're trying to actually get there and sell your comics or whatever it is. And then one thing that I've noticed that a lot of people are doing now, and I know I'm the only one here that's really set up cons for Golden Tree Publishing. But the one thing that I noticed that a lot of cons are doing now is they do the whole review. So it's like you submit your application for a table and then they say like, we're reviewing if you're accepted or not. And I guess, I mean, you got to kind of do that. Who knows what somebody's going to try to set up.
Right.
Come and try to set up some pornographic stuff, you know what I mean? Like, or just like, who knows, something that's completely un-PC, like, like, who knows? But then they'll come back and they'll say, okay, you've been accepted. But what they'll do is, so you got to make sure like, you're ready, is they'll give you like a week to pay and get your table before they close it on you. So like sometimes you'll get, if you apply for a con, you might get, you wait a month and then they say, okay, here's the link to purchase your table. And it closes, they send it to you on Thursday. It closes on Monday. So you got to get your table, or they'll do things where if you apply. And so this is, again, especially from a financial standpoint, if you're trying to get a table, is what they'll do is they'll send a link, but they'll only have a certain number of tables. They'll send it to more people than tables they have. Mm-hmm. So it's first come, first serve. So if you wait 2 weeks or something like that, to purchase, you may find that there's no more tables available. So that's just something to think about early on when you're getting, when you're first trying to do a con, is really time management and preparation. And then just setting up at the con and making sure you have everything that you need to kind of stand out, because there's going to be a bunch of people out there. Ray, when do you think you probably doing any cons? Next year?
Definitely next year. At the very latest, like I said, my comic is set to come out in June. So I'll probably have it printed by August. Maybe even before that. I'm a little nervous because I haven't actually done it before, but I don't know. I'm really confident in the story and I'm really confident in the world that I'm building. So I just got to hop out there and do it. I'm glad that I have people like you to kind of help, like offer support and tips on how to do it, because truthfully, man, like it's a lot of work and getting out there is the first step.
Yeah. I mean, well, the thing too with cons is like, especially you might just be getting started. Like if you're making a comic book or something like that, and you might not be ready to sell your comic book, but you can also set up a table and just sell artwork, right? Like that's what a lot of artists do, right?
Well, if that's the case, I'm ready today.
Yeah. So people, I think a lot of creators who are artists and they're making their own stuff. So they're doing, they're the writer, the letterer, the colorer, the inker, they do the whole thing themselves. and they say, oh, my comic's not ready, I can't set up a table, but you can still kind of try to make some money and set up a table and just do artwork. I mean, if you think about it, all these big artists for DC and Marvel, they go to cons, they didn't write any stories. They don't,
Right.
you know what I mean? They're not selling, they're selling comics because, you know, they're allowed to sell like the comics they worked on. But mostly they're just sitting there selling their art, their sketches and things like that. And a lot of them do really well. So sometimes, and like, sometimes like what you and I never like really thought about it because I'm not an artist. I'm just a writer. Is
Just
if I
a
had
writer.
something coming out, no, but I mean, I think there's a little more talent sometimes in actually doing the artwork. I mean, that's what a comic book is, right? You're looking
This man creates entire worlds. I'm not hearing that, man. Just a writer. He's a beast.
but like, if I had something coming out, maybe I'd just do a table where I'm selling the artwork to my characters and stuff and making people familiar with it before it even came out. You know what I mean? And so then it's like, oh, I had all this exclusive early artwork and now here's the first issue. So like, that's something that I think that if you're making your own comic and you don't think you're ready for a con to sell comics, then don't sell comics. Just sell your artwork. Get people familiar with your characters and your story and make some dope pinups and some dope posters and things like that. And then, gauge interest and stuff like that. So if you're going to do something like that, just start at a small con. Don't, try to do like Dragon Con or Comic Con and try to pay $600, $700 for a table.
Right.
Go to a small local 1 day con where they're only going to charge you $60 or $70 for the day, for the table. And you'll probably get that back. But I don't know. That's just some advice I think that people can do when they think they're not ready, but they might be more ready than they think they are.
And honestly, you just put a thought in my head, with the book that I'm writing, the characters and everything, it might be beneficial just to go to the con, just to get people familiar, just to build, my audience. I never thought about that until, we started talking about it because it was all going to be on what can I do on social media? How can I get this into the libraries or schools? But hey, man, it just clicked. Get a table at a con. At least let people get familiar with that.
Right.
Maybe it'll spark something. Maybe they'll pass it on to someone else in their family who might, appreciate it. Like you said, if the book's not done, I can just take the digital drawings that I've done there. I think that paying for that exposure, even if I don't have anything to sell, might be even, beneficial during the latter part of the year once it actually comes to print and all that. So
exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean, for cons, like basically too, like you were saying, like when you go to a con, you see artists just selling artwork, comic books are artwork as well. So, I mean, you can also do the same thing, even if you don't feel like you're ready yet. You can just start up, and I would start with like a smaller show because that's part of it too. Is if you pay a certain amount for a table at a con, you want to get your money back, at least, right? I mean, sometimes you won't, and you'll find like sometimes like myself, like some of the smaller cons you do the best at because there's a lot of introverts that are at cons. I mean, when I go to a con, I'm introverted a lot of times too. So they got things they want to say to you, but if there's a lot of people, they won't. But if there's less people, they're more apt to stick around the table, ask you questions and look at the comics. So don't think that you got to go to a real big con to make a ton or make your money back or something like that. You go to a smaller con, it's cheaper. You probably might even just sell more. So that's just something to think about too, especially if you're just getting into doing tables and things at cons.
Yeah, and I think, it is actually I'd imagine it would be a lot harder to become a household name if you go into a house that's already fully populated. So like definitely going to a smaller con and being able to be more intimate with your fans, I feel like works. And I've met a lot of content creators and comic book creators that way, just through going to smaller cons and, like being able to build a rapport and talk to them. Whereas I've actually seen them at other conventions where it was more of a, hey, like I acknowledge that you exist, but I don't have time to talk right now because I got this line of 60 people. So I'll talk to you later, and later sometimes never even comes. So I think that's really good advice.
And I mean, that's like in anything, build that relationship and build that trust. Like you said on that 101, opposed to you're just a number.
Right.
Push through this line. So yeah, it's definitely that avenue, like you said, take advantage of those smaller ones.
Yeah.
Those going to be the ones that's going to possibly give you the bigger profit.
Yeah, and basically, I mean, we'll touch on some more con stuff too. I mean, when I go to some of the tables we're doing, and I think none of the cons I'm going to don't start till the summer, but I'll touch on those later. But I guess we could go ahead and wrap it up. Any shout outs y'all want to give to anybody before we close this up?
Shout outs I definitely want to give to local Cleveland artist Sammy Does It. And it's at Sammy Does It on Instagram. Then Mike Newman, who runs the Blank Canvas CLE. And I mean, you can find him on Instagram at Blank Canvas CLE. Just those some dope Cleveland artists. Like, you know, you don't see a lot of these people who aren't a part of the political. You paid in to be in a magazine or whatnot, so they're not truly known. But when you look at their art, you're like, whoa, why weren't they in the top 20 artists in this article I saw? Right. You know, so definitely want to give them a shout out. And there's plenty more, but you know, those are the ones who I definitely want to bring light to today.
Yeah. And hey, that's at 2174 Lee Road, Cleveland Heights is Blank Canvas too. So if you want to talk about or see the dope art that Newman's talking about, that's the address. Just show up.
Yes, sir.
It's all there. You might want to pick something up. Ray?
I got two artists that are on my radar right now. My boy Cameron Knight, C Knight Comics. He's incredible. He is currently making a story called Clicks. It's about 4 girls and their daily lives, but they're super dope. They're video gamers, they're martial artists, they're incredible. You can find his artwork at C Knight Art on IG. And a newer artist, well, new to me rather, I should say, Josh Bullock. He created this comic called Monarchs, and the artwork is absolutely beautiful. I just pre-ordered his second chapter, and I just ordered his first chapter. So I'll be getting that probably Monday. So I'm really excited to delve into that and delve into their worlds. The really cool thing about both of these artists is that even though they're starting to get pretty famous, they're also to the point where they still talk to you, you know, like even me, like I have different things that I ask about as far as like how to do certain things in certain programs, and hopefully we'll talk about that in a later podcast. But they're open to talking to creators and making sure that everybody eats at the table. So definitely want to shout them out.
Cool. And I'm going to go ahead and just give a shout out to my artist, or one of my artists, Brian Golden. He's the artist on Unicorn Melee and King of Sweden Last Bloodline, but he's also the artist of Strawberry Seafoam. Super G-rated on Webtoons. It's very popular. If you're looking for something that's more for kids, but it kind of is like all ages thing. But check out Strawberry Seafoam. It's about mermaids. I mean, what can I say? But he's a real dope artist. But check it out on Webtoon, Strawberry Seafoam. Shout out to Brian Golden. If you guys want to go around and just tell them again where they can find you at on your own accounts, and we'll close it out.
All right. Again, my name is Raymond Youngblood, aka Ray's Arts. You can find me on Instagram at Ray's Arts, or at RAIZ_ARCS.
Chris Newman 216. That's it.
Again, and this is Madison Hawthorne from Golden Tree Publishing. And again, if you just type in Golden Tree Publishing, Google it, everything will come up. But it's Golden Tree Publishing on Instagram. It's Golden Tree Publishing on Facebook. But on YouTube, it's Golden Tree TV, because we have different content that's not necessarily just focused on comics. But you can check us out there too. You can pick up ATEL Volumes 1 and 2 and Unicorn Melee right now on Amazon or Comixology. And you can also catch me at some conventions, but I'll let you know which ones those are another time. Thank you.